Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is the National Day of Atonement, and we're fortunate to have with us the director of the Race Relations Institute at Fisk University, Dr. RWinbush, to talk about the National Day of Atonement. And Dr. Winbush, let me welcome you to the show this morning.
Thank you for inviting me.
Dr. Winbush, you know, what we'd like to do this morning is to talk about the Race Relations Institute at Fisk and some of the other things that you've talked about through the media and some of the things that you've been working on. But before we get into that, let's talk about RWinbush and to have you to give our audience some information about your background, your education, and some of the things that were important in your life that eventually led you to the directorship of the Race Relations Institute at Fisk University.
Well, I'm like many Nashvillians, a northern transplant. I was raised in Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, in fact. Went to school in the South, Oakwood College, which is about 100 miles south of here in Huntsville. Went back north to Chicago, did my PhD in psychology. All three of my degrees are in psychology. Returned south to my college that I graduated from, Oakwood, taught at Alabama A&M. Taught many years here in Nashville at Vanderbilt University, and about a little over a year and a half ago, we had a rather public divorce, and I wanted to go to Fisk University for many, many years and had taught there part-time for many, many years. And I have been at Fisk for about a little over a year right now, full-time, and enjoying it very much. And I'm not exaggerating, it's literally the best institution I've ever taught at.
Dr. Winbush, you know, when we talk about the Race Relations Institute at Fisk University, I think a large number of folks might be aware of that institute, but let's talk about Fisk University as an historical black college. Now let's give you an opportunity to talk about that and to put the Race Relations Institute within that framework.
Well, Fisk, you know, the more that I know about Fisk and learn about Fisk, the more I'm amazed at how much it has contributed. You cannot write the 20th century history of African American, especially intellectual history, without talking about Fisk University. It's simply impossible. I mean, the list of graduates there, W.B. Du Bois, George Padmore, Nikki Giovanni, and then the connections with Fisk. Bill Cosby's wife's father graduated from Fisk. There's so many people. I spent most of the summer in Africa doing some research on W.B. Du Bois and George Padmore, who's another great Pan-Africanist, and had to go to Africa to find out that Padmore graduated from Fisk back in the 1920s. So its contribution to black intellectual thought, as well as the civil rights struggle, of course, as we know, John Lewis, and even contemporary African Americans such as Hazel O'Leary, who's a Fisk graduate, is immense. Colin Powell's wife is a graduate of Fisk University. So the list goes on. I mean, you could literally write a book about it, and some people have, in fact.
As a matter of fact, the Race Relations Institute sort of fits within what Fisk is all about. Why don't you give us sort of a sketch of that institute? Well,
the first black president of Fisk University, as you know, is Charles S. Johnson, and in 1942, he and a group of black intellectuals, which I've been doing the research at Fisk now about, gathered together to form what they called the Race Relations Institute. This was during World War II, and if you look at the history of it, they assembled every summer about for 2 weeks, people from all over the world to talk about the issue of race in America. There were people there ranging from Hubert Humphrey, Thurgood Marshall, Kenneth Clark, the famous psychologist, Mahatma Gandhi's son, Martin Luther King, Fannie Lou Hamer. And essentially, if you look after World War II, it formulated post-World War II philosophy. It was instrumental in desegregating the armed forces, marshaling the legal briefs in terms of Brown versus Board. I called it like an intellectual huddle that took place every year at Fisk, and then branched out and did the play in terms of race relations. I mean, there's no single institution that contributed so much in terms of like linking racial issues in this country with public policy formation as the Race Relations Institute. So I'm proud that, you know, I'm kind of in the legacy and humbled, you know, in terms of following Dr. Johnson's legacy. The Kellogg Foundation just a couple of weeks ago gave us